You don't have a blessing problem. You have a receiving problem, and it's not your fault. You've been asking for more support, more love, more ease, more clarity. And then, when something good actually approaches you, your body tightens. Your mind starts negotiating. Your heart goes quiet. And you might not even notice it happening until later, when you're alone and you realize, I pushed it away again. Not because you're ungrateful, not because you're broken, and not because you're doing spirituality wrong. It's because receiving asks for a kind of openness you were never taught was safe. So let's slow down right here together and just notice what happens in your chest as you hear that. Notice if your shoulders lift. Notice if you hold your breath a little. And if you do, that's not failure. That's your wisdom, your protection, your history speaking in the language of the body. Your heart already knows this. It has been protecting you with devotion. And yes, I said devotion, because even our defenses are often made out of love. If you've been feeling like blessings pass by you, like life is offering something, and you can't quite take it in, there is nothing shameful about that. There is simply a part of you that learned, if I open, I might lose. If I relax, something might go wrong. If I receive, I might owe. If I let goodness land, it might be taken away. Have you noticed how quickly you can accept responsibility and how slowly you accept support? Somewhere along the way, your heart learned that staying open could cost you. Maybe you loved someone and they left. Maybe you trusted and you were betrayed. Maybe you showed your tenderness and it was met with ridicule, dismissal, or silence. Maybe you grew up in a home where love came with conditions, where praise could turn into criticism, where peace could turn into chaos without warning. Or maybe you simply learn it to be the one who holds everything together, and you became so good at holding, you forgot how to be held. This hasn't been easy for you, and I see that. So many sensitive, capable, beautiful people walk through this exact pattern, smiling on the outside while the inside stays braced. And yet here you are, still longing, still willing, still listening. That matters more than you know. Let that settle for a moment, because the part of you that wants divine blessings is not naive, it's not childish, it's not asking for too much. It's the most natural thing in the world to want to be supported by life. And there's another truth living right beside that longing. The part of you that resists receiving is also trying to help you. It's trying to keep you safe. So we're not here to fight yourself. We're here to understand yourself and to make receiving feel like home again. What if divine blessings aren't only miracles? What if they're the everyday forms of support you keep resisting? A kind word that you brush off, a door that opens and you think, it's probably not for me. A friend who offers help and you say, I'm fine. A moment of quiet that arrives and you fill it with noise. A gift you minimize. An opportunity you delay. A love you question because it feels too simple, too steady, too real. Sometimes the blessing is not dramatic. Sometimes it is gentle. And that gentleness can be the very thing your nervous system doesn't trust yet, because you got used to intensity being the proof of love and struggle being the proof of worth. Here's what I've come to understand. Blessings don't only arrive as events, they arrive as invitations. An invitation to soften, an invitation to be seen, an invitation to let your life support you instead of constantly proving you can survive it. And there's something happening during these moments that most people don't talk about. But first, you need to understand one essential difference. There's a quiet difference between being hopeful and being available. Hope says, I want something good. Availability says, I can receive something good. Do you feel that difference in your body as you hear it? Hope can live entirely in the mind. Availability lives in the body, in the breath, in the chest, in the belly, in your capacity to stay present when goodness touches you. Because if your system learned that closeness equals danger, then when love approaches, your body responds the same way it would respond to a threat. Your mind searches for the catch. Your heart narrows, and then you call it intuition, when really, it's an old protective pattern wearing a sacred name. You're not imagining this, and you're not wrong for it. You're simply learning to tell the difference between fear and knowing. So let's make this practical. Right now, place one hand on your chest if it feels comfortable. If it doesn't, simply imagine warmth there and take one breath that you don't force, just a breath you allow. As you exhale, quietly say inside, I am willing to receive. Not I will receive perfectly, not I will never struggle again, just I am willing. That's enough to begin. If you've been the strong one for a long time, receiving can feel like losing control, even when it's love. Being the strong one often starts as a necessity. It's a role you take on because someone had to. Someone had to be responsible. Someone had to keep peace. Someone had to be capable. Someone had to anticipate problems before they happen. Someone had to be the adult, even when you were young. And then one day, without realizing it, being strong becomes your identity. You become the one who doesn't ask, the one who handles it, the one who gives, the one who holds space, the one who says, it's okay, while your own needs wait quietly in the corner. And when life finally tries to give back to you, it can feel unfamiliar, even suspicious. Because if you receive, you might have to admit you needed. And if you admit you needed, you might feel the old grief of all the times you needed and nobody came. So receiving isn't just about taking in goodness. Receiving is also about touching the places that learn to live without it. This is important to hear. You don't have to open your heart by ripping it wide open. You open your heart by building safety. Think of dawn arriving. It doesn't force the night to disappear. It doesn't punish the darkness for existing. It simply arrives little by little until the world can see again. That's how the heart opens when it's been protecting you, little by little, with kindness, with trust that is earned. And this is where we begin to step into real spiritual maturity, not forcing yourself to vibrate higher, but learning how to stay present with both protection and possibility. So let's talk about the 3 hidden doors of the heart: worthiness, safety, and trust, and how they open gently. The first door is worthiness. Worthiness is the part of you that can look at a blessing and not immediately ask, "Why me?" or "How long will it last?" or "What's the price?" If worthiness feels hard, it's often because you were trained to believe that you must perform to be loved, that you must achieve to be valued, that you must be useful to belong. So you start measuring your deservingness with invisible tests. Did I do enough? Was I good enough? Did I earn this? And if you can't prove it, you deny the blessing before it denies you. Do you recognize that? If you do, breathe with yourself again, because this pattern is common and it's not a personal flaw. It's a learned strategy. Here's a simple reframe that changes everything. Worthiness is not a score. It's a birthright. Your heart already knows this. It has never once needed you to earn oxygen or sunlight or the beating of your own pulse. Life has been giving to you since the beginning. So when a blessing arrives, the practice is not to prove you deserve it. The practice is to let it touch you. When someone compliments you, instead of explaining it away, try this. Pause, breathe, and say, "Thank you." Let the words be enough. When an opportunity opens, instead of shrinking, try this. Place a hand on your chest and say, "I am allowed to say yes." Not because you're perfect, because you're prise, and faux because you're willing, because you're alive. The second door is safety. Safety is not the absence of risk. Safety is the feeling that you can be with what arises inside you without abandoning yourself. Some people think opening the heart means becoming endlessly vulnerable, endlessly available, endlessly giving. And of course your system resists that because it knows what it cost you before. But opening the heart is not the same as removing boundaries. Opening the heart means you can say yes without losing yourself. You can say no without closing down. You can receive without collapsing into obligation. If you've had relationships where receiving came with strings, you may still be carrying the belief that every gift has a hook. So when life offers you support, you tense because you're bracing for the bill. This is where we tell the truth with tenderness. You are safe to receive, and you are safe to choose. Say that slowly inside if you can. I am safe to receive, and I am safe to choose. Can you feel how those two belong together? Because receiving without choice is not receiving. It's captivity. Your heart refuses captivity, and it should. So we're not asking you to accept everything. We're teaching your system that you have agency. Here's a practice that builds safety in the moment of receiving. The next time someone offers something, help, love, attention, a gift, pause and ask yourself one quiet question. Do I consent to receiving this? Not out loud, unless you want to, just inside. And if the answer is yes, receive it fully, even for 5 seconds. Let yourself feel the warmth. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. And if the answer is no, honor that. You can say, thank you, and not right now. You can receive their care without receiving the offer. You can stay open and still be true. That is safety. The third door is trust. Trust is the part of you that believes life is not always trying to trick you. Trust is not blind. It's not naive. It's not pretending everything is good when it isn't. Trust is the willingness to stay in relationship with life, even after pain. If you've been disappointed, if you've prayed and felt unheard, if you've tried to open and then something fell apart, trust can feel like the hardest door. So let me say this gently. You don't rebuild trust by making big leaps. You rebuild trust by making small agreements with yourself and keeping them. For example, you can decide, when I feel overwhelmed, I will pause and breathe before I react. And then you do it once. That's trust. You can decide, when I notice I'm minimizing a good thing, I will let it land for 10 seconds. And then you do it. That's trust. Trust grows through evidence, not hype. And here's the piece I asked you to hold earlier. Remember that difference between hope and availability? Here it is. Availability is trust in action. It's the quiet willingness to stand in the doorway when life knocks, instead of hiding behind the curtains. Now, I want to name something very specific that many people don't admit. Sometimes you don't resist blessings because you don't want them. You resist them back, as you're afraid of the version of you who would exist if you received them. Because if you were supported, you might stop struggling. If you stopped struggling, you might stop proving. If you stopped proving, you might finally rest. And in that rest, you might hear what your soul actually wants. And that can change everything. So your system says, let's stay busy. Let's stay strong. Let's stay in motion. Because motion feels safer than change. But you are allowed to change. Let's take a breath together right here. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. And imagine making just a little more room in your chest. Not a dramatic opening, just a little more room. Because your heart doesn't need to be forced open. Your heart needs to be met. I once knew someone who was offered help during a very hard season of her life. She had been carrying everything alone for years. Work, family, grief, all of it. A friend brought groceries and said, "Let me take care of dinner tonight." Her first instinct was to say no, to smile, and insist she was fine. Instead, she paused. She put her hand on her chest, took one breath, and whispered, "Okay." She cried while her friend cooked. Not because she was weak, but because her body finally felt what it was like to be cared for without paying for it with shame. Later she told me, the help didn't save me. Letting it in saved me. You might be standing at that same doorway in your own way right now. If that touches something in you, let it touch it. You don't have to explain it away. And if you notice resistance rising, tight throat, fluttery stomach, numbness, sudden distraction, try this tiny receiving reset. Exhale a little longer than you inhale. Soften your tongue and let your eyes relax. Ask, can I receive this for just one breath? One breath is not a contract. One breath is a bridge. Now let's talk about the most misunderstood part of opening the heart. It's not only emotional, it's energetic. When you've been guarded for a long time, your system becomes organized around self-protection. You scan for problems. You anticipate disappointment. You manage other people's feelings. You keep yourself small so you won't be targeted. You keep yourself busy so you won't feel. And then you say, why don't I feel blessings? Because blessings require presence. A blessing can be in the room, and if you are not present, you can't receive it. So the practice becomes less about chasing something divine and more about returning to yourself. Here's a simple way to know if your heart is open in this moment. Can you feel your own breath? Not the idea of breath, the actual sensation of air moving in and out. If you can feel it, you're here. If you can soften into it, you're available. And if you can't, that's okay. It's information. It's an invitation to come home. Now I want to give you 3 receiving anchors, small phrases you can return to when your system tightens. The first is, I can let this be E. Say it softly inside and see what happens. I can let this be easy. If your mind argues, that's normal. If your body resists, that's normal too. You're not trying to convince yourself. You're introducing a new possibility. The second is, I don't have to earn what is meant for me. Notice how your chest responds to that. Some people feel relief. Some people feel fear. Both are honest. The third is, I am safe to receive. This one is a doorway, and you may need to say it slowly, not as a command, but as a kindness. I am safe to receive. And when your system says, no, I'm not, you can respond with compassion. Thank you for trying to protect me. We can go gently. This is the work, not forcing, not spiritual performance. Gentleness. Now there's another hidden receiving block that doesn't get named often. Guilt. Sometimes you don't receive because you've survived something that others didn't, or you had to become capable early, and you learned that taking for yourself is selfish, or you've watched people struggle and you don't want to outshine them, or you've been the caretaker and receiving feels like breaking the rules of who you are. So let's speak to guilt with clarity. Your good does not steal from anyone else's good. Blessings are not a limited resource that you take from a shared shelf. When you receive, you become evidence that receiving is possible. You become a lighthouse in someone else's fog. You become a person who can give from overflow rather than depletion. And yes, I said overflow, because that is how it's meant to be. So if guilt arises, try this. Breathe into your heart and say, may my receiving bless more than just me. Feel that. May my receiving bless more than just me. That's not a justification. It's a blessing that includes the world. Now let's use an open loop one more time, because this is where the shift becomes real. There is one daily moment where your heart can be trained to receive without forcing anything, and it takes less than 1 minute. Here it is. When you wake up, before you reach for your phone, before you reach for your to-do list, before you reach for the version of you who must perform, place a hand on your chest and take 3 slow breaths. On the first breath, silently say, "Good morning, heart." On the second breath, say, "I am here." On the third breath, say, "I am available." That's it. You're not manifesting. You're not begging. You're not striving. You're opening the door. And in the coming days, you might start to notice something subtle. You'll catch yourself right at the moment you normally close down, right when you're about to minimize, right when you're about to say, "No, it's fine," right when you're about to doubt the good. And in that tiny moment, you'll have a choice. That's how transformation actually happens. Not in huge declarations, but in small, sacred interruptions. Now, I want to make room for a truth that can feel tender. Sometimes the heart closes because it's carrying old grief. Grief for what you didn't receive. Grief for the love you tried to earn. Grief for the support you needed and didn't get. Grief for the version of you who learned to survive without softness. If grief is here, you don't have to push it away to be blessed. Grief and blessings can exist in the same body. The heart is wide enough for both. So if you feel tears, let them be honest. Tears are not a problem. They are a release. They are a way the body makes room. Like a seed breaking open in dark soil, something tender can emerge precisely because the shell finally softens. You don't have to rush that. Now, let's bring this into your real life, where receiving is not a concept, but a moment. Receiving can look like staying when someone is kind to you instead of leaving emotionally. It can look like letting someone do something for you without apologizing. It can look like taking a compliment and letting it warm you. It can look like resting without earning it. It can look like saying yes to an opportunity without talking yourself out of it. And sometimes receiving looks like letting yourself be supported by professional care, by community, by therapy, by wise guidance, alongside your spiritual practices. Your path can be both sacred and practical. Your well-being deserves every kind of support. If your mind says, "This is too simple," I want you to notice that, because the part of you that learned love must be difficult will always distrust simplicity. And yet, simplicity is often the language of truth. Your heart already knows this. It knows the difference between performance and presence. So let's create an integration moment right now. Imagine a blessing that has tried to reach you recently. It could be small, a kind message, a chance, a moment of peace, a person showing up, a new idea that lit something inside you. Picture it for a moment and notice your first reaction. Do you lean toward it? Do you question it? Do you tighten? Do you feel unworthy? Do you feel excited and afraid at the same time? Whatever you notice is welcome. Now, place your attention on your breath again and ask yourself one question. What would it feel like to let this land? Not forever, not perfectly, just to let it land. Then choose one tiny action that says yes. Maybe you respond to the message with gratitude instead of distance. Maybe you accept the help. Maybe you take the opportunity step. Maybe you rest for 10 minutes without your mind punishing you. Maybe you write down the idea instead of dismissing it. One tiny yes, that's receiving. And if you stumble, if you close again, if you forget and go back to old patterns, be gentle. This is a retraining, not a test. This hasn't been an easy journey for you, and you've been doing the best you could with what you learned. Many people are learning this same lesson right now, because the world has rewarded self-sacrifice for so long. And still, here you are, choosing softness, choosing truth, choosing a new way. That is courage. Now we come to the sacred close, where we don't force an ending. We simply let you leave with something real in your hands. Here is what I want you to remember when you're tempted to shut down. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not blocked by the universe. You are learning how to feel safe with good. And that is a holy skill. So when a blessing approaches you, when love shows up, when support arrives, when ease tries to touch you, try whispering this inside. I can breathe and stay. I can breathe and stay. Because so often, what we do when goodness arrives is we leave. We leave with doubt. We leave with distraction. We leave with jokes. We leave with self-criticism. We leave with the old story of unworthiness. But you can breathe and stay. And if staying feels scary, you can stay in small doses. 5 seconds, one breath, a hand on the heart, a softening of the jaw. This is how you become available. This is how you open without forcing. This is how you let divine blessings meet you where you actually live. In your body, in your relationships, in your daily moments, in your honest yes and honest no. And as you move forward, you may start to notice that receiving changes the way you walk through the world. You stop chasing. You stop proving. You stop gripping. You begin to trust that life can meet you, not because everything will be perfect, but because you will not abandon yourself when it isn't. You are safe to receive, and you are safe to choose, and you are safe to go gently. Let that be your mantra when the old tightening returns. And if you ever forget, come back to this simple place. One breath, one hand on your heart, one quiet willingness. Somewhere deep inside, you've always known the door was never locked. You were only waiting to feel safe enough to turn the handle. And now, in your own time, you are